Welcome, foolish mortals. Got a slightly different video for today. I've had requests from Instagram to show how I make the cheese dip that I usually make for parties and things like that. It's a very simple recipe. Need about 2 pounds of ground hamburger, preferably about 93 to 7. If you do anything like 80-20 for hamburger, you need to make sure you drain it first, or it'll leave a lot of grease on the top. 1 jar of picante sauce. I don't know how much this is. 16 ounces. Now you can use any type and any brand that you like. Today I wanted to do a little hotter one, so I actually got hot this time. You need 1 can of tomato soup, 1 can of cream of mushroom soup. Any brand, of course, will work. A thing of diced green chilies, mild or hot, either way. 1 thing of regular Velveeta, or the melted cheese product of your choice. Some garlic powder, and some onion powder, and a little bit of salt and pepper. So I've got my skillet heating up, and so first of all, just a little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper, and then some garlic powder, just a little bit along the bottom, not a ton. You can always add more later if you feel the need. Ignore that burning that's on the thing. And same with some onion powder. And then add your hamburger. And go ahead and brown it. So we'll get this all browned up, and we'll be back with the next steps. Okay, we've got the hamburger browning pretty good. So make sure you're moving it around enough. And then when it's gotten about half way to the browning point, add the diced green chilies, and then give it a good stir. And then that way the chilies will have a chance to cook a little bit before you put them into the rest of the meat, or the rest of the ingredients and stuff. Alright, so go ahead and cover that back up, and then we'll come back here in a few. Okay, so we're at our next step. So you can see I've kept it at about between 7 and 8. Now I'm going to turn it down to about medium, at least on mine, so that'd be about a 5. You can see the beef's all brown. There's a little bit of grease and a little bit of liquid, mostly the liquids from the green chilies. The next thing you want to add is your picante sauce. Now if you want to make this thinner, you can add more picante sauce. If you want to make it thicker, you can add more Velveeta. But I seem to find that 1-to-1 on all this works pretty well. And then add, sorry about the sound, your cream mushroom soup and your tomato soup, and get that all stirring. So it can heat up. Let it go ahead and get to a simmer, if not a little bit of a boil, before you add your cheese. So you get that going. I've got my cheese all cut up. Make sure you cut it in slices, down the middle and then across, so that the thinner you slice it, the quicker it'll melt, of course. So we'll come back in just a couple minutes and get the cheese on there. So once the mixture is heated up, you can see it's bubbling nicely. Then you can start adding your cheese to the whole mixture. Just kind of put it around the edges so that it has a good opportunity to catch the heat and melt. And I'm using kind of a bigger saucepan. This whole recipe can, of course, be made in a crock pot. You can brown your meat and then put all the ingredients together in the crock pot. Put it on high for about a half hour or so. If I'm having a lot of people over, I do make it in a crock pot and then double the recipe just so that we have more than enough for everybody. So once all your cheese is in there, you can kind of let it sit for about, I'd give it about 5 minutes, and then come back, stir it, and give it another 5 minutes, stir it again. Overall, it takes about 15 minutes to make this. It's pretty easy. We'll come back and see how it's melting shortly. Alright, so it's been about 5 minutes, and you can see it's kind of, the cheese is melting, turning into that beautiful liquid gold color that Velveeta gives you. So you just give it a nice good stir, make sure all the edges are pulled in so that you're getting the cheese so it doesn't stick to the bottom of the pan. At this low temperature it shouldn't, but just come back and stir every few minutes. So that's pretty much it. We're going to let it cook for about, just simmer here for about 10 minutes or so. Then we'll come back and show the finished product. Alright, so it's been a few. As you can see, it's thickened up real nice. So that is my recipe for a queso party dip. Just, get your favorite chip and enjoy. Talk to you guys later.